Okay, so today I want to briefly cover a game I've been playing quite a few hours of. It's a game called Caravan SandWitch. And no, not like a caravan that is then put between two pieces of bread or however you want to look at it. No, it's SandWitch. Now, this is a very interesting game. I think the thing is there's going to be a number of people who are divided on it because it does have a lot of great elements, but then there's also a few hiccups about it. Either way, please hit that like and subscribe button. Let's sit back and get into Caravan Sandwich. So, this game is basically an exploration type open world game, and it happens to have one of those trademarks that Ubisoft and even Breath of the Wild has, where it has little areas that you kind of have to unlock. You know, like once you unlock the area, the map will open up. These things are called jammers. Now, we'll get to them later, but it is significant to note that this is that kind of open world game. I understand some people are saying, well, it's not as bad, and it's not, but it is something you have to deal with. Now, the thing I found out that was most interesting about the game is it starts in outer space. You see, live in a place called Space City. Not long after your sister's weird disappearance, you left your rural planet for a more hustle and bustle. So that's why you went to Space City. But it seems like you've gotten a message from your sister, the one that you thought was long gone. And of course, it's coming back from your home planet. So you're on your way back to your home planet. Not long into your journey, you do experience an issue where you can't get around. And in fact, on your home planet, there's not a lot of vehicles. In fact, there's not any vehicles. Well, there is one. There is a van that, luckily, an elderly citizen really takes a liking to you and basically just lets you have it. Now, the van does have a lot of cool stuff about it. One of them is just the ability to scan all the areas around it. And there's also a grappling hook that you get relatively early that really opens up different parts of the game. There are also ways to upgrade your equipment, your van, and other things. In fact, that's kind of one of the loops of the game, is essentially going around collecting components and then coming back to your home village and working with a friend of yours to kind of upgrade things, to build new items. Crafting, collecting, that is one of the biggest loops of the game, in fact. Now, the other thing is just working with old acquaintances. Your childhood friends, if you will, as there are a lot of NPCs in this game, a lot of interactions, and a lot of little quests to take on. Now, for me, in some ways, it was almost a little bit too much. It was like they kind of threw a whole bunch at me at once, and I would have rather preferred like a smaller trickle of information, because when you have so much coming at you at once, you kind of like, at least me, I completely just kind of phase out and don't pay as much attention. And it's once I'm on the side quests themselves that I start understanding the relationships. And that's kind of how it worked, which was fine, because the game does give you enough guidance on each side quest/quest to kind of tell you about where to go and then give you some of the information, especially if you look in the journal. Stuff that is relevant to the characters' relationships, for instance. And of course, you can always go back and talk to the characters. And that sense of community is one of the things that really ties this game together. Even in the instances where there's people who are not happy with you that you left, and there are a few, but you're able to make up with them relatively quickly, usually by doing tasks for them, or even bringing stuffed animals for a little baby who was recently born into the world to a couple of friends of yours who got married. And that whole experience is pretty cool because it does allow this like collectible aspect where you're going around kind of looking for all these toys when you're already exploring different ruins and caves and things of that nature. It's always kind of fun to try to look around for a toy to bring back to the baby. Now, so much of this game is just that. It's kind of cozy, quaint, relaxing. There's no combat at all, and in fact, there's no damage at all. One of the things I thought was interesting as well is that you can basically just fling yourself off of the side of a mountain in either the caravan or just without, like, your own character, and you're fine. No damage at all. No fall damage, no nothing. Which, for me, was kind of an issue. Hear me out. After a while, I kind of got tired of the repetition. You know, the going out, opening more parts of the map, kind of rummaging, finding things I could, bringing them back, building things, doing these little side quests. And for me, it was almost like too cozy. And I admit that that's a problem for me. Like, I understood that a game like this is going to be, like I said, like more relaxed, more casual. And I really wanted to see some combat or something with a little bit more excitement. And the most excitement that happens really is when you're in the van and you're driving, especially with me driving, but then there's no fear because you can't take any damage, as I often fell off the side of mountains or crashed into things, but it wasn't a problem. I'm not saying that everyone needs that kind of experience in gaming. In fact, there are times when I enjoy a game that's not like that. Stardew Valley being one of those games, or The Sims, or whatever. It's just, for me, this game had a lot of good things about it, and namely, like, the controls, the open world. It's very interesting. And in fact, I would have loved exploring these ruins and some of the caves, knowing that there might be something dangerous ahead. But once I kind of discovered or figured out that, like, wait, no, there is no danger. There is nothing to worry about. It kind of took something away from it. Now, I know that that's, again, a me problem, and there's going to be a significant amount of people who enjoy that aspect. So I in no way will mark the game lower than I would give it a lower grade. Nothing like that, because, again, I knew what this was. It didn't tell me, hey, this is going to be an action-packed, fun adventure. No, it says no combat, no worries. Like, they paint it out to you. Now, one of the other things I did have that I think is an issue is there was a bit of a lag, especially when you're out exploring in your vehicle, you're driving around. There was a few areas. Now, it's nothing that's a game-breaking or anything that's prominent, but it does happen here and there. And I did notice it happened in one of the ruins when I was trying to platform around. And it just happened at certain times in this one ruin. No other ruin, no other area. Just this one area that sort of caused a bit of a kerfuffle, if you will, while I was trying to platform, and caused a few problems. But again, it's a very minute problem that I have a feeling they'll have it patched up. Because if there's one thing you can tell about this game, it was made with love. I mean, really. The depth, the complexity of the characters, when they put that much into just NPCs, then you know they really cared about the project they were working on. Not to mention just how much of the game is built around your van and exploring, and how much they put into that. Like, one thing I can honestly say is none of the puzzles got repetitious. There's a lot of games that have a lot of puzzles, and it's kind of like, okay, well, I did this already, so I know how to do it. It's just same puzzle, different look. No, they didn't do that. At least nothing that was blatant. Yes, there was a few instances of puzzles being similar, but of course they're going to be. When you have such a large game, that's going to happen. And I did find a lot of interest in the story and figuring out about this gigantic geothermal issue going on in the middle of the desert. As you hop in there, you will see a gigantic tornado, windstorm, whatever it is. And yeah, you do kind of want to know what's going on over there. And so yeah, I did find a lot of interest in that. And of course, the actual main story is quite engaging. In fact, it had me kind of hooked for quite a while, as I was wanting to find my sister and understand what happened to her, and learn all the situations about this area that I once called home, and why it is as mysterious as it is. Now, I ultimately have to say that I enjoyed this game, and I liked a lot of things about it. It was just sort of boring at times, and that for me was an issue. But like I said, I'm not going to mark it down as a negative. I'd say that this game overall is a 7 out of 10. There's a lot to like about it, and in fact, in some cases, I might even give it a 7.5 out of 10. But I'm curious what your thoughts are. Have you checked this game out? Have you seen any of the other reviews? Are you looking forward to this one? Anything and everything, be much appreciated. I love each and every one of you guys. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.